What's up, everybody? Welcome back to E3 2019. We're talking about Bethesda E3 2019. Did they bring it? Did they not? Let's find out. So we're going to jump in with it with heartwarming as always. Bethesda's passionate love letter to fans. We see a bunch of devs come out like, I was a fan, now I work in these games. I was a fan, now I work in these games. Super cool. Just wanted to highlight that in there. When we go into Fallout 76 talk, like I thought they would, and they really like, we're sorry, we know that it launched shitty, we're making improvements, and I hope you stay around. And they know that the community is really strong. They know that the community that they have there is really strong, and that they're able to wait out and see where this is going. After that, we got some Elder Scrolls Blades announcements. There's a new update. We got it announced for Switch. Something that I'm not really into. I tried it on my phone, just not my bag. Then we get into some pretty big news for Fallout 76. We're finally getting an update that puts NPCs in the world, and man, if something was missing from that world, it is NPCs. And I am so excited. We're getting some quest lines. We're getting some just things that should have been in it from the start. It's going to feel like an actual Fallout game, and I'm super excited for that idea. And it's going to be a free update for everyone who has purchased Fallout 76, which is also cool to see. There was also announced a new game mode, and of course, what new game mode is it? It's a Fallout Battle Royale, which to some people, exciting. I'm cautiously optimistic. That's a running theme in the C3. But you know, it's something to check out, man. It's called Nuclear Winter. It's in sneak preview right now as I'm recording this, which, you know, I might go check it out sometime, and again, we'll let you guys know. We had Shinji Mikami come out with Tango Gameworks, and it's not Evil Within 3, surprisingly. It's Ghostwire Tokyo. Again, another thing that this E3 has been doing is not really showing off a ton of gameplay. And I think it's because the next gen consoles are coming out so soon, and it's like, oh, we can't show this with, you know, saying, oh, it's on Xbox 2 or PlayStation 5, you know. But Ghostwire does look exceptionally cool. I think it had like a Rapture kind of vibe, very spooky. It's an action adventure game. About all we got, but I have faith in Tango Gameworks. Love Evil Within, loved Evil Within 2. Still have to go back to Evil Within 2, but I'm excited to see what he does. Then we got some ESO talk. We got a new cinematic. Went on for entirely too long, but also cool nonetheless. They announced a new update, Dragon's Hold, that's coming out later, and another one that's called Scalebreaker. Another thing I've always been excited to return to, but every time I return, just doesn't keep my interest. But, you know, to each his own. After that, we got something that I wasn't familiar with, which is Commander Keen. ZeniMax Online is working with it. It's a mobile game. Again, not something that I am super interested in, but, you know, something to throw out there. And I think that's where the press conference started to fall down, just because they started with these announcements that weren't super high. We went on to Commander Keen for so long, and then we jumped into Elder Scrolls Legends, which again, a much longer presentation than it should have had any right to be. It announced a new expansion for Elder Scrolls Legends. I'm not sure how that works. It's Moons of Elsewhere. So for people who are into that, there we go. They announced a new expansion for Rage 2. Just came out, so of course it makes sense. I think that we're, you know, it was again a thing that was entirely too long. I think that we're like, okay, we get the point across. There's new enemies, there's new factions, there's new story. You know, I think they did that like 4 times, and I was like, okay, what's the next game, bud? We go over to what was announced last year, which was Wolfenstein Cyberpilot VR. It is finally got a release date of July. I'm excited to check that out. I'm a pretty big fan of Wolfenstein's reboots, but Machine Games. Super cool take on it. We'll see how the VR plays out. But then we did get into the meat and potatoes of the Wolfenstein announcement, and that is Wolfenstein Youngblood coming out July 26th. It's got that 80s vibe that I love, killing some Nazis. We got BJ Blazkowicz's kids. I'm super excited for it. I can't wait to jump in with a buddy, maybe Ben, to play it. Same cool Wolfenstein gameplay, ready to jump right into it. After that, we got Arcane the Owns new game, which is Deathloop. We didn't get much in terms of gameplay, but from what I see, it looks like a time-based first-person shooter that has that Arcane style really over it. But from that trailer, it does look really cool. I'm excited to see more from these guys. Arcane, guys behind Dishonored and Dishonored 2. I love those games. Those games are really cool, and I'm excited to play anything that they do, especially if it's something as stylish as this Deathloop game looks. We got some new streaming technology announced totally out of left field from Bethesda. It's called Orion. I'm still not quite sure what it is, if it's a streaming platform itself, or if it's just the technology behind it that they're going to let, Stadia use and xCloud use. But we'll see in the coming future. I don't have much information on that right now. Did look promising. They were playing Doom 2016 on a phone with no input lag. Super good for that game, because you definitely need a quality picture and a quality frame rate for that game. Finally, we got a look at Doom Eternal, and man, this game is just brutal as fuck, and I am so down for it. This is Doom 2016 was the most gamey game that I've ever played, and it did not shy away from just oozing cool. They had some more platforming additions with the dash and the double jump and the grapple hook. I can't wait for this game. Doesn't look like I have to wait too much longer, because the release date was announced for November 22nd, 2019. Kind of a little bit further than what I was wanting, but overall I think it doesn't matter, because this game's going to be wonderful. After that, we did get a tease of the new battle mode, the multiplayer for Doom Eternal. It's a 4v4 demons versus Doomslayers. Looks cool, something I'll probably dive into for a weekend, and something cool to check out. But yeah, that was the press conference. I think, again, it is one of those things like Xbox where it kind of got into a lull and went way down, but the points that were high were really high, and I think that it's just this year of E3 has kind of not really been like lackluster, but just generic. Like, oh, but we already knew about this. Oh, but we kind of already knew about this. And especially with the fact of PlayStation not being at E3, I think that there's not a lot of room for obviously there's not a room for a Capcom announcement, even though there has been some announcements from studios that have just been out of the blue, just been like, hey, this is coming. I just think it's due to the fact that these consoles are so close. And I think that E3, every time that new consoles are on the rise, E3 is just kind of flat, because we can't know what's coming, or we don't know what to think of things. But it does leave me excited for next year to see what's happening when these consoles are announced and are like, oh, well, this is a launch game. This is a launch game. This is a launch game. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching, and I love you.